electoral reform. The honourable member is saying that we have not been mandated. But these honourable members on the other side have been blaming us for not fulfilling made. And this electoral reform forms part of the premises. And today, what he's saying? That election is behind the door. That is why we are coming with all this. He also has the guts to say that the Honorable Prime Minister has agreed to a sum of, I think, 440 rupees? 400 rupees compensation. Well, this also, he says, we are doing it because election is behind the door. But everybody knows that we are nearing the end of our term, and according to that constitution, which the honourable member is doing so much to defend, we are bound to have election at the end of the mandate. When we don't fulfill all promises, we are blamed. Government is doing nothing. Look, they have promised this, they have promised that, and nothing has been done. And now when we are trying to fulfill the promises, we are being blamed even for that. Which shows that the opposition will never be satisfied with anything that we do. And their whole mentality have been proving this. I totally share the view of the Prime Minister, who stated outright in his second reading speech that we are making history. I will add that once again we are making history after we elevated our country to the status of a republic in 1992, amid a calumnious campaign orchestrated by the Labour Party and those who were against us. Madam Speaker, some people may have forgotten that the Labour Party of Dr. Navin Ramgoolam was against Mauritius becoming a republic in 1992. I suppose their allies also must have been of the same view. Dr. Ramgoolam made a very hostile speech in this House against me on 9th December 1991, alleging that as Prime Minister, I was amending the Constitution to, I quote, give Mauritius a banana republic. He accused the then MSM-MMM government of amending the Constitution in a rush without a mandate from the electorate and said that a referendum should be organized and the president should be elected through universal suffrage. But he came to power afterwards. He stayed there for quite a long time. He forgot about all this. He preferred to preserve and work in the Banana Republic.
He gave you a mandate as president?
Yeah, he gave me a mandate as president. The Labour Party and its ally, the PMSD, chose to be on the dark side of history when they did not vote in favor of the bill to make Mauritius a republic within the Commonwealth. Honorable Xavier Gival was party to that. But, Madam Speaker, if really the Labour Party and PMSD were serious in saying we had brought a banana republic, they had ample time to change that when they were in power together for so many years after 2005. They kept the republic model we adopted intact. And we all know what happened in 2014 when a true banana republic was proposed to the electorate. That also is history. Today, once again, after opposing the accession of Mauritius to the status of republic, the Labour Party and the PMSD stand together to oppose this bill for electoral reform. For the PMSD, it is stabbing our motherland in the back 3 times in a row. The PMSD was against independence. The PMSD opposed Mauritius becoming a republic. The PMSD is opposing the electoral reform we are proposing, a reform that is in the best interest of multi-ethnic Mauritius. The leader of the opposition and leader of the PMSD dares to speak about democracy. I can only laugh at that. I'll keep on laughing. I leave it to the nation to make its own judgment. Madam Speaker, we are making history because this government has come with a bill on electoral reform which no other government has done before, although so many promises had been made, election after election, on such reform, which we all agree are necessary to move ahead in our nation-building process and consolidate our democracy further. The Prime Minister has pointed out that for the last 25 years or so, electoral reform has constantly been on the political agenda of all major political parties and governments. As he has mentioned, there have been so many reports, proposals, counter-proposals, and extensive debates on the matter. Yet the electoral reform agenda could not be advanced due to political differences, hidden agendas, lack of political wisdom and willpower, and the disproportionate ambition of some leaders. I do not wish to dwell on the merits and demerits of the electoral reform proposals made before 2014, because I am of the view that they were rejected in most of the cases because there were attempts to undermine the first-past-the-post system and implicitly the democratic verdict of the people at the polls. The opposition speak strongly of democracy, great defenders of democracy. But at the same time, they forget that why our Constitution has provided for election to be voted by the people, and the result is to provide a government for the country. The choice of the leaders would be made from unreturned candidates of the first past the post system and from those persons on the party list to whom PR seats would not have been allocated, irrespective of the order of precedence in those lists. In itself, this broad choice list would help the leaders to make sure that every single component of our population is represented in the National Assembly. What could be a better guarantee for inclusive representation than that? It is to be noted that our Constitution already provides for party leaders to designate, in certain circumstances, MPs under the present best loser system. I refer honourable members to paragraph 5, bracket 7 of the first schedule of the Constitution. Madam Speaker, it is worth highlighting that the Labour-MMM Alliance reform proposal of 2014 already provided for 6 PR seats out of total of 20 PR seats to be chosen by leaders of parties. Therefore, I do not understand all the fuss being made about vesting leaders with the power to designate persons for the additional seats. Madam Speaker, to clear some confusion that has been deliberately created by some people, I wish to add that it will be the electoral supervisory commission that will compute the number of additional seats to be allocated to a qualifying party. Madam Speaker, I condemn the PMSD and its leader for instigating yet again a communal divide when openly questioning about majority and minority and asking for a new census of the population. We are not prepared to follow the PMSD along those dangerous lines. Government will never agree to a new population census being conducted on the basis of communal appartenance. We consider that a new census would be detrimental to social harmony and nation building. We are not prepared to fragment our society and bear its consequences. Madam Speaker, I make an appeal to honourable members not to miss this opportunity to support the electoral reform this government is proposing. No electoral reform can be perfect and satisfy everybody. But we have to start somewhere. As Honourable Béranger used to say to us in the 2000-2005 government, if really we are serious and mean business, we cannot stop the wheel of progress. What we are proposing is simple in its application, but provides a good balance between stability and fairness. Government considers stability as being the pillar of our socio-economic progress. Government is of the view that stability is sacred, and for this fundamental reason, it has made a choice in the electoral reform proposals to favor stability and governability instead of instability and chaos. Let us therefore not miss the train of this simple yet practical electoral reform, and let us live up to what we preach in a responsible and selfless manner. As I said in my introductory remark, the bill before the House is already making history. But let us write a new golden page of our history by adopting the proposed reform and advancing our nation-building process in another inspiring manner. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your time.